Hello, everybody. Welcome to On the Homefront. John Murphy here with you once again. Very happy to share some time here on WILI and YouTube. Our program this week is very busy as usual. We have 3 segments. We're going to close out the show with a conversation with the great Christine Ohlman, the Beehive Queen. She's going to be here in town this Saturday, October 11th, at the River Room. I've got my tickets. It should be a great evening. There's a couple that are still left. If you want to check it out, just go and find the River Room. You'll find their whole schedule for great live music right here in Willimantic. Also, we're going to hear from Ginny Walton from the town of Mansfield. They have a wonderful campaign here for many years called the Repair Cafe. It's right here in Willimantic at the First Congregational Church on Valley Street, and it's where people go and bring things to be repaired rather than thrown out. It's a tradition that began in Europe years ago. They've translated it over here to the U.S. and across the country. Many communities are trying to avoid waste by recycling and repairing old things. So the Repair Cafe is this Saturday. But we're going to begin right now with another look at one of my favorite subjects, which is the arts at Eastern. The first show in their new season is opening up soon. It's called Wonder of the World. Sitting next to me is Jennifer Cobb, known as JJ. She's a professor of acting in the Department of Communications, Film, and Theater, and she's been with Eastern for about 18 years now.
That's about right.
So thank you for being here so long.
Thank you so much.
And also we have a first-year student in Eastern, Colin Gilligan. He is Captain Mike in the show. We also happen to share the same class, which is a nice surprise, actually, Colin. Here we are in a different way. But thanks for being here today as well.
Pleasure to be here, sir.
So, the Eastern program has really been rejuvenated with the new Fine Arts Instructional Center. And I wanted to ask you, just to begin, what it's been like for you to teach there now, since you were there many years ago when so much was based in Schaefer. People waited for years to get the funding approved. It was a real long wait, but it finally happened several years ago. So what has that investment done for students like Colin and faculty like you that are trying to bring the arts to a much higher level?
Well, it's absolutely been a gift. Some students were working on a documentary in the last couple of weeks, and so they interviewed me, and I had to do the math, and
Right.
I realized that now I've been in the FAIC, the Fine Arts Instructional Center, for longer than I was in Schaefer, but it's about even. It's very, very close to being even. And both spaces were wonderful in their own way. The history of Schaefer and when it was a normal college, and I was telling Colin on the way here those old stone steps and how they used to kind of dip, and I think they're still in there. It's hard to tell.
You saw movies there too sometimes.
Oh, I didn't know that, but but the new space, I think, just as a vote of confidence, and certainly this generation of stakeholders won't know. I hope they know how lucky they are. But you really saw it in the folks who had started in Schaefer and came into the new building. They just felt spoiled rotten. And it meant that the university, the state, it used to be the Board of Trustees, but the Board of Regents had great confidence in the arts and the role of the arts in our liberal arts identity.
Yeah, and we've talked about this many times. It's shown throughout the year. We've had many people on who are producing incredible shows. They're using plays, multi-screen imaging. They have a wonderful art gallery that's been developed as well. So the reason why we have these folks here today is the next play, this kind of kicks off the season, starts October 14th and runs to the 19th. It's called Wonder of the World. It's kind of a comedy of sorts. And as the director, let's have you start us off, if you could, by how you're going to translate the story and use space on the stage and how you're blocking things out to kind of move around the action of the play, which can get kind of crazy and comedy chaotic at times.
Which is its own level of fun. Yeah, absolutely. I've gotten to work so closely with our wonderful set designer, Tim Golubieski, who's he did a beautiful job in Blithe Spirit for me a few years back before Colin came to Eastern, but that was the last project that we worked together on. And I wanted to live in that space. This space is quirky and hotel chic, or hotel. It's an interesting space, and Tim and I have often talked about the fact that it's it's fun and it's of an era. Neither he nor I particularly enjoy the aesthetic personally, but it's so perfect for the show. And so we had fun with kitsch. Motel kitsch, actually, has really inspired this show. We're doing it in the Studio Theater, which is the smaller of the two spaces.
Yep.
The proscenium just didn't feel quite as intimate as I wanted this particular comedy to be. So my colleagues accommodated me and let me have that space for this. And I think anybody who comes is going to be close up, immersed in a very fun aesthetic.
So let me give you a website now that you can jot down and keep track of other shows during the season. It all ties into the Eastern email address. It's easternct.showare, SHOWARE. That's the company that does their ticketing. So it's easternct.showare.com/wonder for the name of the show. So, Colin, first of all, welcome to Eastern. This is your first year. Glad to have you on board.
Thank you, sir.
And you had mentioned you had done some high school theater, and you obviously have played a little bit. So what drew you to the play, and how was it for you to start out as a new student in the first play of the new year?
Well, what drew me to it initially was, of course, the email that went out saying that they said, all right, we got a show coming up. It's called Wonder of the World. And initially they did this whole, the social media pages did this whole guess the show thing. I thought that was really interesting. I missed the mark by a mile of what I guessed the show was going to be. But when the email went out, I'm like, wow, this looks really cool, actually. I'm actually really excited about this. So I went through Internet Archive, I read the script, and I'm like, yeah, I'm going to give it a shot. So I walked in, auditioned, did some stuff, and eventually I got the part, and I can tell you it has been humbling to a extreme degree to walk in.
Oh, in what way? How so?
Everybody, the whole cast is fantastic. They are incredible. Everybody embodies their characters to a T. It's like everybody's diction is perfect. Everybody's mannerisms are perfect. Of course, we have a great director, so anything that needs to be better is improved instantaneously. But I'm sitting here, I'm like, trying to keep my footing, but I have had a lot of help, and it is just generally an awesome experience to be around all these people and to be playing such a interesting character.
I know there are quite a few interesting, unusual characters that are encountered now. How did you embody Captain Mike? I mean, you're a captain.
Captain Mike is, from what I can tell, kind of a straight man throughout some of the story. He is thrust into this grand voyage that Cass, who is the primary character, is sort of embarking on, and she wraps him up in this little world, and he's kind of just going along for the ride. He had a traumatic event previously in his life that he got over and is now better for it. And I think he's at the sort of point in his life where he's like, you know what, yeah, screw it, this will be fun, why not? And he goes along with it, and throughout the whole story, he's just kind of hanging out. He's maybe looking for love. Maybe he's existing. He's very, very, very enthusiastic about Cass. And he's very, very enthusiastic about possibly starting a life with her.
Okay, so you're building some suspense already.
Oh, yes.
Will the guy get the gal? What's happening?
You'll have to see the show.
There you go. You're already in it. Should mention, too, the play is written by David Lindsay Abaire. And I guess the premise is Cass finds a note. She discovers something that opens this journey, right?
Absolutely.
And without giving it away, can you tell me the world that she is thrust into when she tries to resolve a challenge?
Well,
It's
it's absolutely about trust.
Yeah.
Her trust is broken.
Indeed.
She makes a discovery, and at that point, she kind of takes the reins back for herself. She says, "If this level of secret could be hidden from me, then maybe I don't really know where I am in my life in a way I thought I did." And she says, "Maybe I need to." I sometimes think of it as a do-over. I think she almost says, this is as far as I'm willing to go down this path, and maybe fate has something else in mind for me, and she makes some new choices, some very adventurous, brave choices, particularly for a woman, and it leads her down those new paths.
How have you integrated sound or music in the story itself? How did that part of the show come to take form?
I'm actually very excited about this without knowing the specifics. This sounds very strange. We have a wonderful sound designer named Travis Holcroft.
Oh, Travis.
And I gave him some ideas. Every time I do a show, I am reading the script, and before I think about what I want for a set, or before I do these presentations called Wildbird presentations that are sensory experiences for the designers, I have a tendency to build a list. I build a list of music that I listen to, and of course the Blithe Spirit one was fantastic and very flirty and 40s fun, and this one has been a very interesting list, and so I've shared it with Travis, but I still don't know quite what Travis is going to give us. And it's very game show influenced. So there are a lot of great 70s, I'm hearing Match Game in my head, I'm hearing Family Feud in my head, I'm hearing Newlywed Game theme in my head. So
going to have some audience applause in there somewhere.
Well,
Travis is an alchemist.
Absolutely.
He is an alchemist.
He is. And then, of course, we have a little game show prior to the show. Speaking of game shows, we have a game show host, and he's going to play some fun games with the audience.
Yes.
If they're willing.
They better be. That's true, because in the publicity for the show, they're saying to come early, 20 minutes for pre-show antics. I love the word antic, by the way. It's my second favorite after whippersnapper. The play begins October 14, 15, and 17 at 7:30. The 16th at 5:30, and 18 and 19 is a 2 p.m. matinee. So you've got many options to see this. So as a director trying to ride shotgun over all these things, what was the most challenging part for you to orchestrate? What was the hardest piece to put together in the puzzle?
I think that there are tricks within the set that we still haven't fully been able to incorporate, and that's a little disconcerting. My base is actor. I am an actor first and foremost. I want to know where my foundation is, and so I know that it's sometimes a struggle for actors if we're, and they've absolutely, Jason Wadecki, our technical director, Tim has made sure we have all the things we could possibly need. Rebecca Wells has been doing costumes, and she's doing beautiful work. But there have been a couple of things, just because they take so long and they are so tricky, that we haven't yet incorporated a couple of those pieces. And so the wonderful thing has been, and don't let Colin fool you, he has absolutely held his own with some of our senior actors who are right on the spot and have worked with me in classes and know what I like and know what works in any world I create. But what has been so phenomenal about each of them stepping up and being ready, so that I have no doubt that when we incorporate those last few elements, it's going to really come together, and I trust this team beyond measure.
Okay, well, I want to give the website again. You want to get your tickets for the show that's opening in a few days on the 14th. It's easternct.showare, showare.com. Okay, easternct.showare.com/wonder. And one last thing, Colin, while I have you here, because I love to have students on the show. This is your first year here in the the Willimantic area. How's your first semester been, and how does it feel to be a freshman in this new phase of development that the school is having, and for you personally?
Well, in general, freshman in college is awesome, because I have so much time to work on myself and also keep up with schoolwork, and it's a complete tonal shift from high school, and it's fantastic. Being a freshman in this whole new period of change for Eastern is also incredible, because I get to see in real time all these changes being made to better the students, to better the faculty, to better the area, and to better my and my fellow scholars' education. And I think that's something that I'm very grateful to be around for.
That's a great way to close our conversation. I think you can get better than that. So, JJ, thank you for being here, for all the work you've been doing. 18 years of service. Any more to come, I hope?
I hope.
Hopefully we'll get you back next year for your next show when that comes up.
I'm already reading scripts and looking.
All right. That's great. Well, thank you both for being here. I wish you good luck. I look forward to seeing the show. And next week we're going to have people from Eastern. We're going to have Brian Day here and Kristen Morgan talking about their documentary about the tobacco farming history in Connecticut. And we also have the president of Eastern coming on the 22nd, so we're going to have Kareem Ismaili here as well. So Eastern's going to be our focus for a while, and I'm very happy to have you here today.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
All righty, we'll take a few short minutes for a break and come right back and look at the Repair Cafe coming up this Saturday. All right, we're back live on the Homefront. We're glad to have you with us. In a few minutes, we're going to close the show with Christine Ohlman. She's going to be here in town on October 11th at 8 o'clock at the River Room. So we're going to have the Beehive Queen on the phone. But right now, I'm very happy to talk about another Repair Cafe in Willimantic coming up on Saturday, October 11th. From 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. And I'm really happy to have Ginny Walton in the house again. She's been working for the town of Mansfield for many, many years as the recycling coordinator. And she began this program with partners many years ago to help to recycle and not throw things out and to repair both of those functions. So Ginny, first of all, thank you for all the work you've been doing for so many years to help the environment, because you're a steward in the best way. And let's talk about this Saturday and what the Repair Cafe is about. And you have some folks who are volunteering their time to repair things so people don't have to throw them away.
Right.
Yeah.
So people bring in their treasures. And this Saturday, we have Sandra Rosado, who normally does not come to the Repair Cafe, but she is prepared to repair books.
She's a wonderful binder. She is a bookbinder.
Yeah. So she will be there. So if anybody has a treasured book that they'd like to have repaired, if the binding is cracking, she's your person. So come from 10 to 2. Normally we have people there who will we'll do mending, fix sewing, we'll do electrical repairs, we'll sharpen knives and tools. So there will be people to do that this time as well.
Will there be bicycle people there?
No.
Not this time?
Not particularly,
Okay,
no.
sometimes there are, because they have a rotating pool of volunteers. This
Right.
is all volunteer driven.
Right. So sometimes a person who's skilled in fixing bicycles is there, sometimes they're not. So this particular one, no, there is no one for bikes, but there is somebody for books.
And this is from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., and it's at the First Congregational Church on Valley Street, just a few blocks away from where we are right now. They've been there 11 years doing the cafes. So let me ask you this. When people come, I know sometimes people get a little too excited and they bring everything in the house to be repaired, and they forget that this is a community with a lot of people bringing things. So 2 or 3, don't bring 15, because people bring a lot, right? And you're trying to be tactful. But let people know what they should bring and how they can, conduct themselves.
Well, I would bring
Yeah.
1 or 2 items. And because if there's a lot of people waiting, then your one item, the one that's most important to be fixed,
Right.
then that will be the one that they'll focus on. And if there's time, then you might be able to come around a second time with that second item. Electrical repairs take a long time to do. So just keep that in mind. If you have something that's electrical, if you have a question about, should I bring this to the Repair Cafe, then one thing you can do is contact me ahead of time.
Good call.
I'm not going to be at work for the next few days, so your window of opportunity is gone for this one, but contact me at work, and I can reach out to those folks that do electrical repairs and see if it's worth even coming with that item. We've had a few people that have done that in anticipation of this particular Repair Cafe, and it's been helpful because both items were like, no, it's probably not going to be fixable. So electrical repairs take time because it means taking the item apart. Sometimes it involves cleaning the inside of the item.
Sure.
Then it means identifying, okay, what is broken? And then it might be looking up the manual to see, like, is there a part that's needed? So all of that takes a lot of time. And so if somebody is bringing in electrical repairs, there might be a wait. And
That's true.
That's something to consider.
I know table lamps are huge. So many people bring lights. And I still joke about the fact several years ago, somebody brought in this old Hoover vacuum, probably from World War II. I don't know. It was an old relic. But somebody brought that thing back to life, and this guy was doing the happy dance.
Yeah.
A vacuum cleaner. So those are the kind of things that can work if you take time. Now, for clothing, is it any kind of clothing issues? Do people bring things to be resewn? How bad does it have to be before they say, look, there's nothing to fix?
Well, the one thing that takes a lot of time to replace is zippers. So zippers are not appropriate for the repair cafe unless you're willing to sit down and help with ripping out the zipper.
Oh, my goodness.
Which it's a lot of seams to rip out a zipper. That's what's really time consuming. So we do try and involve people in the repairs if they're willing to. And with sewing, that's a really easy thing that can have involvement with the person bringing the item in. But how bad? I mean, we would prefer to have things that are clean. Sometimes people will bring in things that really that garment needed to be washed before it was brought in, so that would be helpful.
A little respect goes a long way. It does.
Yeah. We'll try to repair anything. Yeah, we will. We'll try to repair anything, and we'll try to involve you in it if you're open to it. We want to teach you skills. Yeah. So that's part of it too. And it's a cafe, so we have refreshments. So you can get some refreshments there if you're waiting. And
some very nice baked goods. I've grabbed a few cookies. I'm guilty. I've grabbed a few cookies. I have. It's very nice stuff when it's a very nice quiet space. People relax. They hang out. They talk to each other while things are being fixed. Yeah. And it's the spirit of not throwing stuff away that we can avoid. That's all.
Right.
Plus, you get attached to your stuff, right?
Well, I would say that a lot of what comes in, especially electrical, are sentimental.
Of
things.
Course.
Lamps particularly. A lot of sentimental value with the electrical items. My grandfather had this. I'd like to keep it working and, that kind of thing. So there's been things that are near and dear to people's hearts that have come in and have gotten repaired. Most of what's brought in is repaired.
And they leave with a smile.
Yes.
And also, this is all for free. You're encouraged to make donations, but it is for free. They ask you to help support. They have to pay rent for the church, so you help them to fund the project. And now it's been 11 years. You said recently you compiled some numbers, some stats to show that this is really working over time.
Yeah, so in the 11 years, we've had 1,400 visitors plus. We've made 2,000 repairs. We average about 40 visitors, a repair cafe, and about 54 repairs. So a lot of times we have about 72 items that come in.
Wow.
So of that, 54 are repaired.
That's right.
So, yeah.
And they do these seasonally 4 times a year. October is coming up now. This is going to be October 11th, this Saturday, right, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. And then they'll do one, I guess, in January.
It's the second Saturdays in January, April, July, and October. The beginning of a quarter.
That's right. Yeah. Well, Ginny, thank you for being here today and for all the work you do again. I'll look forward to seeing you again each time you have the cafe. Sometimes you get people that are doing the repairs to come in because everybody that you meet at the cafe is a volunteer because they care about the idea of not throwing things out, repairing them, recycling them, and Ginny's part of that whole movement. So thank you for that.
You're welcome.
All right. See you next time.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to have a phone call in a few minutes with Christine Ohlman. She's going to be here in town on Saturday, October 11th. I have some music to give you a little taste. This is from one of her previous releases, Christine with Rebel Montez. The CD is called The Deep End. And, Christine works with young women and helps them on their path when they're very young. And this song will go out to Christine's work. It's called, what is the call? Hold on. Girl Growing Up, Christine Ohlman.
Untied from mama's apron strings, past the point of no return, drinking from loving cup, girl, growing up. Over, under, sideways, down, in control and out again. Meet a boy, beginner's love, girl, growing up. Love is sweet and love is kind. Love can help your heart unwind. Bittersweet and hard and cruel. Love can make a fool of you. They say be careful what you long for. Don't you go too far. Yet you crave a lover's touch, girl, growing up. Wish you might make your wish come true tonight. Marking time to high heel shoes, from baby dolls to woman's blues. A little wise, but not that much, girl, growing up. Untied from mama's apron strings, past the point of no return, drinking from the love cup, girl, growing up, girl, growing up, girl, growing up.
Okay, that was the music of Christine Ohlman from one of her previous releases, The Deep End. That's Christine with Rebel Montez, and that was Girl Growing Up. And I mentioned that today because one of the things that Christine works throughout the year is with young women starting out. And she's been doing some of that in Massachusetts for a number of years, and she's doing some of that right now, actually. But Christine is on the phone with us, I think. Christine, how are you today?
I'm good, John. How are you?
It's great.
Good.
It's great to have you on the road. You're heading up to Massachusetts now, I think, right up to Northampton?
Yes, I am. I'm just driving through Williamstown right now.
Wonderful. Well, I want to talk to you about that trip, but, I'm very happy to have you in town here, up close and personal here on the 11th. I mean, the River Room is 65-seat music club. It's not a bar with music, it's a real club. Can you give us a preview of what you want to drop that night?
Well, as we're calling the show Hits and Deep Tracks.
Right.
And in fact, we're playing some cuts off the CDs. So, including some that we've actually never played in this configuration of the band. So, you'll hear a couple cuts off Wicked Time, a couple of cuts off Strip. There's a new tune called Everybody Got a Heartache off the Deep End that we haven't been playing much, but we just started playing again. So, a song called Alabama and Lonesome that we're getting ready to make a new record, so that'll be on that. So it'll really be it's a listening room, as I think the people from Willimantic know, and if you don't know, a listening room is really a great thing. It's tailor-made for a band like us, which is we really do original music.
And it's so nice to have a real club feeling. Small tables, 65 people, so there's good sight lines, and the sound is nice, good acoustics. It's a real gem to have here, and it's great to have a musician at your level here in town. They've been working on different genres. They've had poetry there, Latin dance, comedy. So it's a real growing venue, and I'm really happy that you're part of their mix.
We're absolutely delighted, and Chris Beaudry has been in touch with me for a while now, and we were able to work something out. So we're coming to you this Saturday, October 11th.
Now, I've been following you, of course. I'm in your Facebook network, and you're playing in so many places now. You're all over, and it's great to know how active you are and how many people want to connect to the music. But I wanted to ask you a bit about why you're in the car today. Is you're also investing in the future with new young people on their path. Can you talk about what you're doing throughout the year with young women? People should know that in addition to your own music.
Yes, I'm on the board, the advisory board of the Institute for the Musical Arts, IMA.org. Among other things, they run the Rock and Roll Camp for Girls all summer long. There's 2 teen groups. There's a pre-teen group, and then at the end of the summer, for older girls that think they might want to be a recording engineer, they have a camp that is only about the technique of recording, and they have a fabulous recording studio, which was designed by John Storick, who designed Electric Ladyland.
Nice.
So this is all happening, as we speak. And I'm driving up there now for a dinner with the board members. And they run. And by the way, they run concerts there all year. They're in Goshen, Massachusetts, just north of Williamstown, up in what they call the Hill Country of Massachusetts. And it's kind of, the vibe is kind of like Levon Helm's barn.
Wow.
It's absolutely gorgeous barn. So that's where we meet with the girls as well. And they stay over, they camp for either 10 days for the teens or 5 days for the preteens, and it's really great.
Is there a website or a name somebody could jot down if they wanted to connect to these good folks?
Yes, Institute for the Musical Arts. It's initials, IMA.org.
Right, okay.
And they have a beautiful website, actually.
Yeah, you've talked about this for years. It's great to know. Because, folks today, like young people, need more help than ever to get through all of the BS and all the obstacles they have that are just in the way.
That's true, and we do only accept girls, I will say, but not that the boys don't need help too, but it's geared toward the female musician.
Girl power. Girl power is cool.
Girl power, exactly.
Yeah. Now, just a couple more things while I've got you, Christine. I know, Saturday Night Live has started their 51st season, and I know you're very much a part of that family. What's the vibe like now for the rehearsals, getting ready for the new launch?
The vibe is exactly the same. We actually thought that a lot of things were going to change, like maybe we'd have a new producer, but none of that changed. Lauren Michaels decided to stay, and the vibe is really just carrying on as we have. Keenan Thompson is 23rd year. He's staying. He stayed. Colin Jost and Michael Che doing the Weekend Update. They're still there.
Yeah.
So it really is not a vastly different vibe. But I will say that the 50th anniversary show, I was there for 3 days rehearsing and so forth. It was an unbelievable experience. And we were just so grateful to have as much music in it as we did and to be, deeply a part of it. So it turns over now into its second half century. Amazing just to even think, and I've been there, this is my 35th year. So
35.
That's amazing in and of itself, I'm just grateful, John.
Well, the other thing about it is that it's a cultural mark for decades of connection between young people who share things over years and years. Some things are the same, and there's always new stuff, but that's the continuity that's sometimes hard to find these days.
I think that they wanted, my sense is that they know that there's a lot that's changing now and a lot that's unsettling people, and I think they really wanted to just keep things the same. I can't say that to you for certain, but that's just my feeling. It's the general vibe, and I think that I actually think it's a good thing for American culture for them to continue to rock on,
I recorded that anniversary show, and that's a real keeper. They did everything so well technically as well. It was just a perfect show.
Yeah.
And
absolutely. They won all kinds of Emmys for the 50th anniversary, from sound to makeup to hair, right on down, and they deserved it.
Yeah.
So it's an amazing bunch of people to work with. They are very accomplished at what they do. It's a live show without even a 7-second delay. So there's a lot of pressure. A lot of pressure.
And, I have to say, before the actual anniversary show, they did this incredible 3-hour review of 50 years of the music. And the editing, that opening 12 minutes was just an unbelievable collage of history.
Yeah, it was edited by some guy that actually does not work for the show.
Wow.
I think he was a California guy. They just knew about him. And, that was amazing, completely amazing.
Yeah.
Really great, really, really great. Anyways, like I said, I'm so grateful. And I think America is grateful, just to have something that's, it's a comfort, I think, to have something that's not changing right now. So that's all I'm going to say.
Well, something else.
Yes.
Go ahead, John. Something else that we've chatted about over the years is the music industry and the problems of the public not still understanding how streaming is hurting the music, not helping it. The economics are not helping musicians to have a life with a family and a career. And you're at a level where you always communicate with all these folks who are working at a high level, national, regional. Do you have any good news to share about how things are for musicians today and how their use of the internet is helping them or hurting them?
I really think that the only thing I can say is that the live scene hopefully continues and is nurtured as much as it can be, because that really is the way to make money now. You're not going to be making money off streaming. That's just not going to happen. And streaming is really not going to particularly change either. I don't see that happening. The algorithm, as they say now, is being pushed ever more into a smaller space in terms of what people are being offered on things like iHeartRadio. So I think, live is where it's going to be, and go out and support live music is the best thing I can tell people. And so to see a club, to circle back, to see a club like the River Room opening, Chris Beaudry and his wife to take the risk on this, and I know that Willimantic has been really supporting it. And, we're very, very happy. We're moving toward a sellout and, on Saturday night. And I'm really, I think it's great. But in general, go out and support music, buy their CDs, buy their T-shirts, the whole thing. Is what I would say, John. Yeah.
If people want to learn more about musicians in this environment, are there any movements or any music efforts that are trying to deal with streaming and changing the math to try to say,
there are. Yeah, I can't think of any of the names of them right off the bat, but there are. Just two of them. My friend Roseanne Cash has been right at the forefront. People like Lyle Lovett, they've gone up and, testified before Congress and things. One of the things in America and South Korea are the only two countries in the world where the artist is not paid for radio play if the artist did not write the song. So, I mean terrestrial radio, not streaming.
Right.
So there's been a law, I can't even tell you for how many years, and it's got bipartisan support, but it hasn't gone through yet. And I think it's called, it's got a name like Musicians First or something.
Yep, I've heard that. Yep.
Support network, and that's actual legislation. But remember that terrestrial radio is not the number one thing anymore. It's Spotify and it's Apple Music. And I can tell you right now, I get my checks from BMI, and they ain't paying you very much. So it's really better to just keep supporting the live gigs. I think and that's really my best shot at helping the local musicians. Yeah.
That's what I hear from everybody that we talk to. They're all saying live is the way to go, and so what you can make a connection. Well,
it's true.
As we're looking ahead to the next year, do you have any projects? You're on the road so much now with so many ceremonies and events, but in terms of the oven for next year, do you have any projects underway that we could look forward to in 26?
Well, we've been talking for the last 2 years about making a new record.
Yeah.
We are actually working on it now, so that's really good news. It's going to be called The Grown Up Thing, and but also I'll have a lot. I go to Baltimore. The week after, at the end of the month, I go to Baltimore for Casey Cares, which is another charity I'm involved in. And in March, at the Fairfield Theater. We're going to be doing this thing, The Queen Meets the Kings. That's my Rebel Montez with Liberty DeVito and the Slim Kings. Liberty DeVito is a great friend of mine, and we our bands team up. Also, on the 4th of December, if you're in New York, my side project, the NYC Hit Squad, we're lighting the Wall Street Christmas tree.
Wow.
And that is a gorgeous, gorgeous tree. It's as big as Rockefeller Center. And we will be doing, it's on the steps of the Stock Exchange, and we'll be doing it. It's our 3rd year, and there'll be about 4,000 people there. And it's just an amazing event with a lot of choirs and different things from Lower Manhattan. And then we get up and do a Christmas set, and then they light this tree, and it's really something to see. So that's on the 4th, Thursday, the 4th of December.
That sounds good.
Yeah, and the 14th of December, I'll be in New Haven, which is my hometown, doing my annual Christmas show. It's always good to come home for Christmas at Cafe 9, and that's December 14th. On the 29th of November, I'm at the Katharine Hepburn. I have to remember to say that, John. Katharine Hepburn, it's my birthday week.
It is your birthday week. Oh, happy arrival day. Happy arrival day.
Thank you, John. And I'll be there. That's the 29th with the Sin Sisters in the band with me. So Saturday, November 29th, at Katharine Hepburn.
All right.
That's what we got coming up. Just a small smattering of what we have coming up, actually. But let's just remind everybody that this Saturday night, I'll be right in Willimantic at the Listening Room. And you better get a ticket if you ain't got it yet.
All right, Christine. I thank you very much for taking the time when you're on the road, and it'll be great to see you. I'll be there Saturday with Rita. We'll be there, and
that's wonderful, John. Yeah,
and we'll try to get you back here before the end of the year. Okay?
I would love that. Thank you so much,
and
thank you to all the listeners there. Rock on, everybody.
All right. Take care, Christine. Keep the faith.
Take care, John. Thank you again.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. Yeah, cell phones when you're driving is tough. It's tough. But we're through. Christine is awesome. The Beehive Queen, she is a busy woman, man. Good things all around, okay? So we have some time. I'm going to give you one more taste. This is the title track. This is the great Al Anderson, and she did this record several years ago, The Deep End. It's one of my favorites from Christine. So we'll have a few more minutes with Christine to give you a taste. This is The Deep End with Al Anderson.
Shallow water, never afraid of the dark. Hard to handle the excitable kind. Take off running when I could have walked. And maybe I should have listened when Mama said, girl, to yourself be true. I was hard-headed, couldn't make up my mind. Was I waiting for only you? I will jump right water is warm and the river runs pure and wide. Baby, take my hand, take a lover's chance, meet me on the other side. I will jump right into the deep end of the river of love, love, love. I gotta be satisfied, I wanna be baptized. Down in the deep end, down in the deep end, down in the deep end, down in the deep end. I will jump right into the deep end of the river of love, love, love. I gotta be satisfied, I wanna be baptized. Down in the deep end, 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 down in the deep end. I wanna be baptized, baby, let's go down to the deep end, yeah, down in the river of love.
Okay, that's a good song for these times. The Deep End. Christine Ohlman, Rebel Montez, and Al Anderson. Christine will be here in town on Saturday. Hope you can make it. We got a few minutes before we close today. I just want to share some news. The studio doors are always open. If you'd like to come in and share news, share your events, any activities you're doing, if you want to reach the public, you're welcome. Just use email to make an appointment, and we'll schedule you here any Wednesday. You can use john@humanartsmedia.com. john@humanartsmedia.com. The radio station has been expanding its local community programming in recent months now. They're trying to work towards Monday to Friday, 3 to 6, and they're building it out now. The current schedule, which you may not know all the shows, it's on Mondays. We have On the Air with Bill Sayers at 4:05. Ravings and Cravings has been here for a long time with Ruth Hartuni and Alan Baugh. She's at 5:05 on Mondays. And then at 5:30, Connecticut East this week with Brian Scott Smith. That's a Monday program for you from 4 to 6. On Tuesdays, State of the Art with Chris Beaudry, talking about local music, especially the events happening at the River Room. Chris is here at 3 o'clock on Tuesdays. It's always a good show, full of good music. Also, we have a show called Business Connections at 4:05, Hometown Threads with Keith at 5, and The Neighborhood with Ernie Eldridge at 5:30 on Tuesdays. Wednesdays, we have Garden Talk with Len and Lisa just before me here, talking about gardening and the environment. I'm here on Wednesdays with On the Homefront. Thursdays is a new show that just started with Chris Reddy called Right Now at 3 o'clock on Thursdays right here. Wyndham Weekly with Ken and Mark is 4 o'clock on Thursdays. And then Steve is here with Your Body, Your Mind on this journey called Life. That's 5 o'clock every Thursday. And then the week closes with Homegrown, with my producer, Matt Rupar at the helm, looking at local music and original music in all the areas here. That's 4 o'clock Homegrown every Friday. And then Let's Talk About It with Susan Johnson and Dennis O'Brien. That's been here for a long time at 5:05 on Fridays. So check us out online. Some of the shows, we're trying to work to get the station on the internet soon. Some of the music stations are right now. We're working on that as well. But we do a lot of local programming. So that's about it for now. I want to thank you very much for watching this show on Wednesdays. We'll look forward to seeing you next week. But keep it here at WILI AM 1400 and 95.3 in the mornings with Wayno, and in the afternoon with the whole team of local information community producers. Take care, and we'll see you next time.